It's the Coach Scott Field Show, and it's Tuesday, 7:30 here in beautiful Salt Lake City. Had some great weather come through today, fellas. The snow came in, everything's snow covered. Got a little sweater action going on here today on the Coach Scott Field Show, so trying to keep myself a little bit warmer. So beautiful day here in the Valley. Appreciate you guys tuning in with us today. We got an outstanding show. Got a show first. We've had a guest that was scheduled, and he had a last-minute schedule conflict, so we're excited to change our lineup and bring another person who was going to be on our show anyway, so we appreciate him coming on. We got a couple live in-studio guests as well in our third segment. A couple local high school kids from West High School who I've done some work with in the past, and so that'll be exciting. And Corbin Barnett out of Castledale, Utah is going to be on segment 2 of the Coach Scott Field Show. Got a couple shout outs I want to get here before we bring in T-Money Live with our NBA Pulse. Shout out to Jesse out there at Vasa Fitness. Thanks for watching, and we hope you join our family here soon. Vasa Fitness is throughout the valley here, and they've kind of taken over Gold's Gym and beautiful facilities they've got out there. So Vasa, thank you for tuning in and being a part. Also want to give a shout out to the Dog Shed out there. Tell owner Mike Collins that people at the Coach Scott Field Show said hello. Tell him you watched the show, and go in there and stop in and see him there at the Dog Shed. Also, shout outs to Joe Maggard in Indiana, Diane Connell here in Salt Lake City, Derek Wall, my man out of Atlanta, is watching the show tonight. So Derek, a former player of mine that we worked together at Chowan Junior College, shout out to you, my friend. Also Bobby Fizzicaro out there in New Jersey, and Jerry Bush in Chicago. Shouts out to you guys. Also want to send some prayers up to Bill Schnupp in Idaho. He had a medical surgery going on there this morning. Hopefully everything worked out there for you, my man. A shout out to you. Hope you're feeling well, on the mend, and let's go out there and do some steelhead fishing as soon as you heal up, my friend. Tyus Jefferson out there in Harriman is going to be our live in-studio guest next week from Harriman High School. So a shout out there to you, Tyus. Look forward to having you on the show next week. Dallin and Riley Kenner will be on the show on the third segment. So quick shout out to them. Okay, guys, here in studio, Nick and Bob, little NBA history for you. March 2nd, 1962. What big event happened in the NBA? 1962. Do 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 do.
Pistol Pete was born. I have no idea.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Hey, Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points. They beat the New York Knicks just like they're getting beat tonight. Wilt Chamberlain scores 100 points in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Nick, way to step up your hoops trivia knowledge there.
It was a wild guess.
Hey, there's a lot of knowledge behind that beard. I got nothing but love for you, buddy. Nice. Okay, hey, don't forget to use that hashtag, CoachSFShow, for live Twitter interaction. And please send us your selfies of you watching the Coach Scott Field Show. We will put those up, and we will choose a fan of the week like we have every week. Last week, Carl Otten out there in Indiana was our fan of the week. Quick shout out to you, Carl. So send in those selfies. T-Money, are you awake and are you with me, my man?
I'm here. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Hey, appreciate you being on the show tonight. I know you are, a lack of sleep and a lot of things going on, but you always have great content. Hey, let's dive right into it. The poll question this week, we talked about father-son combinations. How was that poll question this week? What is the answer? I've got an inkling of what that answer is, but share with us real quick the poll results.
I threw out there how many father-son pairings have occurred in professional basketball history, and there was a lot of debate as to, amongst people wanting to vote, and really people kind of got into this one. And a lot of debate. Should we include ABA? Should we include CBA? And hence my wording, professional basketball history. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with NBA, because some of these greats, had fathers that played in the ABA, and some of these guys are great NBA players that had kids that played, in the D League and the CBA and ABA. So the answer is 72.
Nice.
And there's some that could argue with the 67 because some had multiple children in the basketball, like Rick Barry and the Barry Boys, but 72 was the answer.
Nice,
so,
nice.
There's been a lot of sixes out there when we first started, so.
Nice, good.
A lot of people didn't really think this through. I don't think, we're throwing out the sixes and single digits.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody, participating in the poll question. We're going to continue to have those each week, and great job on that, T-Money. Hey, how about out there with those Denver Nuggets? 1, 2, 3, 6 weeks gets Brian Shaw fired. Talk to me about Brian Shaw out there with the Denver Nuggets being released of duties today.
Well, this is a great job to throw in a pun here, but they are in a serious landslide out there in the Rockies.
Yeah.
That team is really, granted they're 20-win season so far, but it's the behind-the-scenes stuff that's out of control. And if you don't have a coach that can control a team, then that's all you can expect is a landslide. I did enjoy the comment that their general manager said in releasing Brian Shaw today. He said, "You won't find a better guy than Brian." Well, they're going to have to, because 20-39 just doesn't cut it. When you got Ty Lawson getting arrested for driving under the influence and skipping practices, that just reeks of the old Allen Iverson days. And I don't recall George Karl putting up with that kind of nonsense when he was there.
Yeah, well, and again, look at it this way. George Karl, Coach of the Year, has like a 57-win season. He gets relieved of his duties. From a coach's perspective now, I appreciate your insight and what you're sharing, but I also think too, wow, the front office, is Brian Shaw the scapegoat for some of the problems and the personnel that he has to work with? Because, you got to have tools in the shed to go to work. And, it was just a tough situation. B. Shaw's a great person. He was a great mentor to many players, had a lot of success. Again, from that Phil Jackson coaching tree, where a lot of people say, again, it's another Phil Jackson coach not having success. But, we wish B. Shaw all the best. And who are you hearing as a possible replacement out there? I heard D'Antoni as a quick name that was thrown out today.
Well, that was his original team. Back, I think it was the lockout season, was when he was coaching there. So, that's where he got his start. This seems to be the year for everybody coming home. Yeah. LeBron and Kevin Garnett. So why not Mike D'Antoni? But, you've got Avery Johnson out there. You've got Mark Jackson. There's some very viable candidates. Alvin Gentry. Some people are saying Vinny Del Negro, which I still have really never envisioned in a head coaching job that has been any more successful than Shaw's.
Right.
But you want to go back to the Phil Jackson thing. There are a lot of coaches from Phil's mentorship and tutelage that aren't or have not done well. And people argue that Steve Kerr is near 800 on his win percent, but that team was kind of handed to him. That Mark Jackson built up that team. And I don't think the Nuggets have been the same since, you mentioned front office. I don't think they've been the same since Masai Ujiri left and went to Toronto. I think that guy really had it together and putting together the Nuggets. And it's a shame that Denver couldn't hold on to that talent.
Right. Well, and Jimmy Butler goes down with an injury today. Derrick Rose had the meniscus surgery. They're putting out, 4 to 6 weeks for Derrick Rose. How does that affect the Chicago Bulls with them moving forward? And where do you think they may fall, in the playoff hunt here in the Eastern Conference?
Well, the underlying silver lining is that, and I think that everybody's kind of overlooking, is that Jimmy Butler's timeline to come back is right between April 1st and the playoffs. The same with Derrick Rose, and Taj Gibson's going to be back before then too. But I think that's the underlying silver lining, that they should, knock on wood, all be healthy for the playoffs. Yeah. The question is it enough to keep Thibodeau there?
Oh, yeah. Good. Hey, good stuff there. And then how about, I don't know if you watched it, but I actually watched the game on Sunday, the Houston Rockets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was a playoff atmosphere. James Harden and LeBron James were going at it. James Harden during that game kicks the King in the groin and gets a 1-game suspension out of that. Do you think that's a fair ruling by the NBA to suspend James Harden 1 game for that kick?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw my piece on it today on True Love Sports, but yeah, it's, you know, when you kick the king in the family jewels, it's got to warrant a little bit of suspension there. What was even more entertaining than that was the aftermath on Twitter, not only amongst fans of both teams and both players, but amongst the players themselves. So, you know, it's getting competitive. There's trying to, it looks like there's trying to be a shift of power in the MVP wannabes in the NBA. Harden has always thought he was the man, obviously, why he bolted Oklahoma City and went to Houston, you know, for what you and I would love to, money you and I would love to turn down.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's got a little bit of an ego, and, you know, I think he was trying to take LeBron down a few notches, but it's going to be hard because the Cavs are really firing on all cylinders where, you know, 2 months ago everybody was pointing fingers at Blatt and saying they shouldn't have brought Kevin Love over and that LeBron was taking vacations in the middle of the season. So, you know, if he took a vacation in the middle of the season to go watch the national championship game and get his legs back under him, it worked because the Cavs are the clear favorite in the East now.
They've done a great job. And speaking on that, LeBron James, we've got about a minute for this segment to end. LeBron James goes 3 of 11 from the free throw line, misses true crucial, you know, free throws at the end of the game, which cost the Cavaliers the game. He takes ownership of it, saying, hey, his bad. You know, he missed the free throws. It wasn't going to happen again. Come on. He had 37 points in the game. Yeah, he struggled from the free throw line. And, yeah, it was like a one-on-one match where, you know, hey, MVP. You know what? It's been kind of an Achilles heel for LeBron James at the free throw line. But still, come on. I saw also on the Twitter sphere, you know, everybody saying, oh, LeBron James chokes. He had 37 points, people. Come on. The man is a great player. He owned it that he struggled from the free throw line. James Harden did, you know, step up and try to help himself, but the fact that he does kick him, you know, in the groin during the game, gets a 1-game suspension, you know, I know the guys are competing, but, you know, there's a lot of eyes watching that game, and it was fun because it was a playoff atmosphere. So I think the playoffs are going to be fun. We've got about 10 segments. T-Money, I appreciate you coming on live tonight. Have a great week, and we look forward to your poll question coming up. We've got Corbin Barnett from Castledale, Utah, coming up next live on the Coach Scott Field Show right after this break. Great.
The Coach Scott Field Show brought to you by Brave Haven Media, media with a pulse. Don't forget to call Kim Fields at Salon Dante in Sandy, Utah, 801-572-8812. We'd also like to thank the NFL Store and the NBA Store, affiliate sponsors of the Coach Scott Fields Show. Check out all of our affiliate sponsors at www.coachscottfields.com. Be sure to make your appointment with 9th Avenue Dental. Dr. Chris Tarbuck will put a smile on your face. And now, back to the Coach Scott Fields Show.
lot of exciting things going on. T-Money once again with an outstanding segment talking about all things NBA with the NBA Pulse. Again, don't forget to use that hashtag CoachSF for live Twitter interaction. Hopefully we're having a lot of live tweets coming on during our show. We encourage you guys out there watching our show tonight to please send in your tweets if you're on Twitter, and don't forget to send in those selfies of you watching the Coach Scott Field Show. We're having a great time tonight. Real quick, I want to give some NBA scores and updates right here before we bring Corbin Barnett on. We got the Sacramento Kings 124-86 over the New York Knicks. I got the Lakers 103 losing to the Hornets 104. And hey, how about Michael Jordan being added to the billionaires list on Forbes magazine? Way to go, MJ. Hanes Underwear is doing you good. Got the Cleveland Cavaliers 110-79 over the Boston Celtics. The Atlanta Hawks still on fire out there on the East. 100-96 over the Houston Rockets. The Washington Wizards are getting beat by the Chicago Bulls. Even though Jimmy Butler's injury and he's gone down, the Bulls are still competing and being competitive out there. Your Utah Jazz right here are beating the Memphis Grizzlies 67-63. And also Brian Shaw's Denver Nuggets, or former Denver Nuggets, are losing tonight to the Milwaukee Bucks 38-34. So we got a lot of scores and updates going on. I am thrilled to have a former player of mine join us live tonight on the Coach Scott Field Show. He hails from Emery County. He was out there at Castledale, Utah. My friend, Corbin Barnett. Corbin, can you hear me, my friend?
Yes, sir, I can.
Corbin, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty great, Coach. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Hey, how much snow did you get down there today?
Only about an inch or so. It was probably gone by noon, so it wasn't too bad.
Okay, so you just got a little flash. So it probably messed up your spring fishing, though, didn't it?
Oh, you know it. It was too cold.
Well, Corbin, introduce yourself to the viewers. Let the viewers know how you and I became acquainted. And then, let's just talk basketball. Let's talk life. Let's talk about some of the things that you are currently enduring. I think you've got an inspirational story, and there's a lot of people that will not only be inspired, but will be empowered and will grow from your journey. So, Corbin, let's talk a little bit about it. How did you and I meet, my friend?
Well, we met, this was my junior year of high school. I was affiliated with Tim Davis, and he told me that there was a tryout going on with Thurl Bailey and someone named Scott Fields, and then he wanted me to go. And so I ended up going to that tryout, and I thought I blew that tryout because within the first 10 minutes we were warming up, I rolled my ankle. And so I thought I was totally not going to make it, and that's kind of where my journey started, got through, pushed through that tryout, and luckily on the drive home to Emery County, about a 2-hour drive, we just got out of the canyon where I'd have service, and I got a call saying I'd made the team, and I was just shocked beyond belief that I made that team. And I remember that was the first time we met, and that's where our story just kind of began.
Well, you better believe it. And I want to backtrack and, again, share the sacrifice that you were making to come be a part of an AAU team to do some travel ball, which was a new experience for you, playing against higher level athletes, a higher skill set of individuals that you were used to performing against there in Emery County. The fact that, you would drive 2 hours one way to come to our weekly practices in preparations for tournaments, down in Vegas or Long Beach, I was impressed with, your work ethic, your fortitude. I was inspired by that. And I know you rolled your ankle, but I saw a lot of things in you that I thought were positive for you to be a strength to the team. Our team was being put together late, and yes, Thurl Bailey was, a main force behind that team. And the only reason I took that team was because of Thurl Bailey's involvement, because he's so well respected, and thank the world of him. But it also gave me an opportunity to bond and work with our adopted son, Brandon Sly. But Corbin, talk a little bit about your high school background, your career at Emery, some of the challenges that you faced there, and talk about the differences about playing, for myself and our travel team.
All right, so I always played basketball, junior high, high school, and I had older brothers that had always played. We had a family number 44, and so got into high school. Wasn't the best athlete, but I would always try to do my best. I saw a little varsity time my junior year. Senior year was all right. Worked hard. Ended up getting pneumonia during that season, so kind of was a putback during that season. But came back to have a state championship game that was probably my best game of the year. Wasn't the highest scorer. Probably something I was able to do was probably a big key on defense. I'm a solid foundation person, so I was able to kind of keep people out of there from scoring.
Right. Now talk about what it was like coming in, and some of the other members on that team at that time. I think we had Cam Bailey and some other good size and some athletes. We had the big gentleman from Murray. And what were your feelings and emotions as you looked around the gym and seen some of the talent that you were now competing against and playing with during that tryout?
Well, first off, I was super excited to be around people that were actually taller than me. That was an experience I was not used to.
Yeah.
But I was extremely intimidated those first few practices because their skill set was beyond what I imagined could happen at a high school level, and it just kind of gave me more of a desire to push through things and work harder, because knowing they were so much further than I was in ball, it just gave me more of a drive to keep pushing harder and to kind of play the game smarter, because I knew I didn't have all the skills they did. So if I remember noticing some little things that kind of would push their buttons or throw their game off, so I tried to do those things to kind of learn how to play the game smarter, even though I didn't have all the skill they did.
Okay, let's talk about that, because you talked about being smarter. You were always very cerebral. You are not only cerebral on the court, but you are also a quality student. When you graduated, I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, but what was your GPA as you graduated from high school?
I was a 3.99.
What? Not a 4.0? Shame on you.
No, 1 A- because I missed one day of class for math and I missed a quiz, threw it off. So. All
right. Well, now talk about some of the honors and accolades that came with that. In high school. I mean, I think I remember seeing a picture posted with you with one of the congressmen, Jason Chaffetz there. Talk a little bit about, some of the honors that you received academically.
So in high school, I always wanted to push myself to be the smartest I could. It goes back to competition with my brothers. They were all pretty smart, all pretty athletic, so I always wanted to push myself and do things they hadn't before. So I made a goal in my 9th grade year to become a Sterling Scholar as a senior. So I worked really hard, and I became the foreign language Sterling Scholar for Emory High School. And with that, I had a lot of opportunities. I went to North Carolina and stayed with my brother and helped with some Burmese political refugees. Through that service, I was able to meet Congressman Chaffetz for a community service award. And I went to that competition and got 2nd place, and that gave me a 4-year full tuition scholarship to Utah Valley University.
Outstanding. And I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people talk about, honors and accolades that can happen, on the court, but, you are an epitome of what a student athlete is all about. You knew the priority was student. You had some family members that were successful, in athletics, and I'm sure, what lessons did you learn from your brothers, with some of their athletic skills?
Well, I have a brother that he was actually in the MLB for quite a while. He was, I believe, in a AAA team for Tampa Bay, and his dedication was amazing. He would always focus so hard on what he was doing. He was actually a pitcher, and he threw himself 100% into his work, and he really focused on having every part of his body to the point where he could perform to the top of his ability. And then I also had another brother that played for a college in Wyoming in basketball, and oh my goodness, his veracity was insane. He always was willing to fight, dive after the ball. He was always pushing himself to the next level because he was always willing to fight for what was in front of him.
Well, I love the fact that, you were learning from your brothers, and it's exciting because we've got a set of twins coming on our third segment from West High School that are also outstanding student athletes and had a great career there at West High School. So I'm glad to hear you say that you've learned from them, but you've also got a great support system in your mom and dad who, we've become great friends. Tell us a little bit about your mom and dad and some of the things, where they've helped you and the things that you've learned from them.
Well, my mom and dad are for sure my best friends out there. I was the youngest child, so my senior and junior year, we call ourselves the Three Amigos. Just always had fun with that. I found that the support system came through that friendship. I was able to go with them with my frustrations, and they would just listen. And if I needed correcting, if I was just totally being a little snot about something, they were willing to put me in my place and say, hey, you know what? Look at it this way and do your work. And that helped me so much because there were times when things were just hard with ball, like I was on a high school team, a traveling team, and trying to keep my grades up, and I just didn't want to do things sometimes. I just wanted to lay down and take a nap or something, but they reminded me I made those commitments, and once you make a commitment, you do 150% to keep that commitment.
Love it. Great nuggets right there, and thank the world of your family. Just great people. Now, we'll fast forward here a little bit again. You made our team, and we got into some travel, and then you were exposed to a whole nother level of athletes. And I can remember playing against a team in Arizona, and they had a gentleman that came down on a fast break, and you kind of came in front of him, and of course, he took off and dunked. And I remember during the timeout, you're like, Coach, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some of those experiences playing against teams from outside of the state.
Well, oh my goodness, that natural talent. I've never been one that can jump real high. And just seeing some guys where they can get their forehead or their head above the rim just blew my mind. And just seeing how well people could post up and how well they moved and functioned as a team was something I really thought was cool. And they would pass the ball when no one was there, but a person would know what was happening and would be there to catch it. Just knowing how everyone thought and functioned at a higher level was amazing to me.
Well, it was great stuff. We've got about a minute before we go on break here, but talk about real quickly, what were some of the things that you noticed from me as a coach? What's the first thing, your first impression of me and my coaching? So you've got about a minute before we go to break here. What was one thing that stood out to you?
How positive you were. I mean, I came from a coach that wasn't really positive, more negative, and you were just so positive. You built us up as a team, and when we were struggling, you didn't you weren't condescending to us. You built us up, and you helped us realize what we could do when we were positive and worked together as a team. And so you built us by building us up instead of tearing us down. It helped me as a person realize you can be positive in any situation. You can still build and become a stronger person.
Well, I appreciate your kind words. I'll make sure I put a check in the mail to you because that's awful humbling, and I thank you for that. But, hey, we've got about 30 seconds here. Is there anything else, within 30 seconds that you want to share before we go to break? And we're going to have you come back after the break and share a little bit more about your personal journey and some things that you're experiencing now.
Well, quick thing to share is just be grateful for those people in your life. You might not see it right now, but there's always going to be a time you're going to look back and you're going to be super grateful for those people in your life.
Wow, Corbin, I love it. Great nuggets right there. We're about ready to go off on a break. I want you to stay on the line. We're going to be back in 2 minutes after this break, and we're going to continue our segment before segment 3 with our twins from West High School joining the Coach Scott Field Show. We'll be right back.
The Coach Scott Field Show, brought to you by Brave Haven Media, media with a pulse. Don't forget to call Kim Fields at Salon Dante in Sandy, Utah, 801-572-8812. We'd also like to thank the NFL Store and the NBA Store, affiliate sponsors of the Coach Scott Fields Show. Check out all of our affiliate sponsors at www.coachscottfields.com. Be sure to make your appointment with 9th Avenue Dental. Dr. Chris Tarbert will put a smile on your face. And now, back to the Coach Scott Fields Show.
All right, we're back live with Corbin Barnett out of Castledale, Utah, and we're talking about his experiences. We're talking about his journey. Now, let's get into your senior year. We had an outstanding year with the AAU travel team. We had some success. We weren't always the most athletic. We weren't the most talented, but we had success with those teams, correct, Corbin?
That's right. We kind of blew the mind of some of those teams.
We really did, and if you can remember, we'd sit there during the timeouts and say, okay, guys, let's just watch. They're going to implode, and they're going to start pointing fingers at each other. We're going to stay together. We're going to execute offensively. We're going to be smart, defensively. We're going to communicate, and we always found a way to persevere, and it was an outstanding group of kids to work with, and it was just a great experience for me to share that time with you, and we did have success, in California and also going to Vegas. But I remember one time where there was a fatal accident in front of us. We're stuck there in traffic. We get out of the van, and Coach Charlie brings out the kettlebells, and we're out there doing workouts under the stars right there on I-15 heading south, huh?
I remember that. I remember Sunday Oda, he would just close his eyes, and he kept popping up and scaring everybody.
Sushi, that's another West High School standout who's doing a good job as a freshman out there in Wyoming. And I had a nice conversation with him Saturday night. So Sunday, there's a quick little shout out for you there, my man. Great story right there, Corbin. All right, so let's talk about now. Corbin, kind of more of serious content. You go off to your mission. Share with the viewers where you took your mission to.
So the first part of my mission was in Cape Verde. It's a country it's about 400 miles off the west coast of Africa. If you know where Sierra Leone is, you draw a straight line out, and there's going to be 10 little islands called Cape Verde. It was originally settled by some black immigrants that made it over from Africa, but then later the Portuguese came in and kind of took over, and it was one of the original places where slave trade actually started in the world.
Well, I feel like I'm getting a history lesson right here live on the Coach Scott Fields Show. Bring it, man. I feel the knowledge. Go ahead. So now you're off on your mission, and you started noticing some changes, and you were starting to have some pain. Share with the viewers what you were experiencing, what you were going through, what you felt, physically and mentally and spiritually. What was going on, and kind of put our viewers in that position, what you were going through, my friend.
So where I was, it was a walking mission, so I was walking quite a lot every day. And so on a particular day, me and my companion, the elder I was with, we were hiking the mountains, looking for some people to talk to, and we'd been hiking probably the majority of the day. And at the end of the day, before we had to hike back down to the main kind of city where we could get a ride back to the village where we were living at, I was standing there, and my companion looks at me. He was this 5-foot Mozambican, and he just looks at my legs, and he starts pointing and kind of rattling off rapid things in Portuguese, and I was really new to the language, so I didn't know what he was saying. And I looked down, and both of my legs were shaking uncontrollably. And so this is kind of where everything started to go downhill for me. I just kind of pushed it off. I'm like, oh, my legs are just tired. From that point, my feet would actually start to hurt. My ankles would give out while walking the cobblestone streets, and I'd sprain my ankles, which I was used to, and fall down, but just get up. And so I didn't really care. I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep walking. So as time went on, it started to get worse. The pain started to get so bad I couldn't sleep at night. I stopped eating because I was in so much pain, and so I was taking all the ibuprofen I could, but wasn't doing anything anymore. So what happened, they sent me to the main island where everyone else was at, and I was there for a little while and talked to a doctor, and they were concerned I was getting MS, and so they shipped me home from Cape Verde to the U.S. really quickly. Mentally and spiritually, for me, this was extremely tough. I mean, my entire life as an LDS youth, I wanted to go on a 2-year mission, and this all happened within a month and a half. I was there. Next thing you know, I was sent to the main island, and then I was being sent home. So for me, this was catastrophic. I did not know what to do with my life because what I'd planned on was now kind of blown to smithereens.
Right. So now you're back in the States. You're struggling physically. Of course, you're frustrated. You're upset because you're not able to complete your mission. So now take us to, the doctoring, what the diagnosis was, what the prognosis was, and share with us what that did to you personally and where you're at now.
So when I first got home, we went to a doctor, and basically that doctor said, everyone has foot pain or something and discomfort. You just need to learn to live with it in your life.
Wow.
So that, to me, was very devastating to be told, you're just whining about some foot pain.
Yeah.
So for me, mentally, that kind of set me back quite a bit because I'm like, am I just not good enough? I'm not strong enough. Is everything I've worked for, have I not done my full effort? But as time went on, went to a few other doctors, they couldn't find anything. And then one day, this random blood test showed up on my doorstep, and went over, took it. They said it would take like a month or two to find out what was going on. But in the time, I rested up, got healthy again, started eating, got healthy, and the pain was back to nothing. I was like, it just feels like if I had a big day, it just felt like a day after like a hard basketball game. So I thought I was fine. I actually went out on a second part of my mission to California in Rancho Cucamonga, and I was there. But then on Christmas, I found out from my family, because that was the time they could Skype me and let me know, I'd been diagnosed with a disease called Charcot-Marie tooth. And so we'd kind of feared this like a long time ago when I was probably in junior high. I was growing so much. I had a lot of foot pain. They attributed it to just growing pains, but actually it was the disease that was manifesting itself.
Okay, so now you get hit with your diagnosis, but at least it kind of lets you know what you're dealing with. Tell us, and let's educate our viewers and the listeners who are going to watch this nationally and internationally, what exactly is that disease and what is the prognosis of a disease such as that?
So what it is, it's a hereditary neuropathy, and there's a lot of different types. Like I don't know all of them. There's like 1A and 2A, and it ranges for quite a few many types. But basically what it can cause, it causes chronic pain. It can be a neuropathy pain where it can just be a kind of inexplicable pain. I've got one of those pains where you just keep walking. It's kind of like you could say it's like a growing pain, like when you strain a muscle or a joint and it just begins to throb and everything. So what they usually do, they usually try to get you on some medications to try to help ease that pain. So I was started on a low dose of what I was allowed to on my mission. And so basically it's a disease they have no cure for. It's something a lot more people are affected with, but they just don't know about it because they just think it's regular foot pain and those kind of things. So with prognosis and everything, I have custom-made insoles that are just built exactly for my feet, and I go see them every few months, and they adjust my insoles to try to help my pain. And so I was doing everything I could, but unfortunately that pain while I was out there just kept growing and growing, because the disease also can be affected by emotions because it's a nerve disease. So when you're stressed and everything, it can actually flare the disease, causing more pain and more sickness.
Right. So now, of course, your athletic career has ended because of the disease. Your mission was pretty much ended because of the disease. What types of things, what were you doing for the therapy end of it, as far as not so much mental therapy, but to keep the disease controlled so that you could have some sort of quality of life? What were you doing, and how, was there a lot of doctoring? Was there a lot of tests? Was there a lot of blood work? Share with us, take us through the day in a life of Corbin Barnett and the pain that you're enduring.
Well, just a little background. When I came home from that second part of the mission, got into a specialist, and we tried some other medications, and then those heavier medications weren't doing anything. They were just giving adverse effects and everything. And then they said, all right, we're going to recommend that you go to morphines and heavier medications. And at the time I was 19, and I felt I was too young to be put on such heavy medications, and so did my parents. So we had to kind of step back and try to take a look at everything from a new angle. Something for this disease, the best thing you can do to slow it down is to be physically healthy. So what I've done is I have a personal trainer actually at Vasa who you mentioned earlier, that he does amazing things with me. And something I had to do, I had to go to the gym every single day. And so my trainer actually knows a little bit about the disease, so he's designed some workouts for me that don't have me on my feet too much so I can build muscle and not have it break down. Because with the disease also, if you work your muscles too much, they'll break down and they will not grow back or regenerate. But also if you don't work out, they'll break down and not regenerate. So you have to kind of walk that fine line.
Right.
So and with that, I don't know, just a day probably. I'm in college, a full-time college student, so some days it depends. I might wake up with pain in the morning, just a throbbing, and I just got to push through it. I pace myself walking around the school. I've had a lot of accommodations that help me out. Don't have to walk as far there. We have elevators, which are good, but sometimes by the end of the day, if I've been on my feet too much, I actually can't focus. I lose focus. I don't have a desire to eat, and I just get so drained to the point I just have to sleep until I recuperate from that pain and I can function fully again.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you what, it's an inspiring story and journey that you're sharing with us. It's going to be empowering to individuals who may be suffering through some sort of physical ailment that they don't know what's going on. You and I share something in common. When I was 18, I was given an oral polio vaccine to accept my scholarship in North Carolina, and that oral polio vaccine caused my immune system to go awry, which ended my playing career, and I was bedfast for 9 months. So, it is devastating. It is, you have all these thoughts, why me? I'm a good person. Why am I being challenged with this? But I can assure you that, you have that same type of personality. You're a go-getter. You're not a quitter. You persevere. And I know you're going through pain daily. And I thank you for sharing your story and journey with us. I know you're taking classes at UVU right now. I know you're going to be a success in whatever endeavor that you pursue. I'm a better person for knowing you and being able to be around you. And I thank you for sharing your story tonight. If you had any insight or encouragement to viewers out there who may be suffering through something like this, what would your message be to the viewers out there tonight, Corbin?
Honestly, to not give up, because if you stop fighting, that's when you lose hope. I mean, no matter what happens, no matter how much pain you're in, you need to keep fighting, and you need to have a good support system behind you and to kind of keep the faith and just know that you're going to be able to help so many other people in your life later in life, because you know what, you've gone through this and someone might go through a similar thing and they're going to get down in the dumps, and you're going to be able to be there and help support someone and help them fulfill a dream they may have.
You know what, I think that is so eloquently put, and I appreciate you sharing that vulnerability. You've got a great story, my friend, and the fact that you had the courage to come on and share your story with our viewers tonight, I commend you for that. You're an outstanding person, a great individual. you are blessed to have a wonderful support system, and I know that you will beat this disease. I know you will keep it controlled. You're going to keep your faith, and you're going to be a success. And if there's anything that I can ever do for you, my friend, I please just know that I am a phone call away, and we can share our journeys together, and I know whatever you choose to do, my friend, you're going to blow it up and do great things. So thank you so much for being a part of our show tonight, Corbin.
Thank you for allowing me, Coach.
You got it. Listen, have a great night. We're going to have another quick break, and we're going to have the twins come on here from West High School live on the Coach Scott Field Show. So get that Twitter action going. # Coach SF Show. Let those twins know you're watching them.
The Coach Scott Field Show brought to you by Brave Haven Media, media with a pulse. Don't forget to call Kim Fields at Salon Dante in Sandy, Utah, 801-572-8812. We'd also like to thank the NFL Store and the NBA Store, affiliate sponsors of the Coach Scott Fields Show. Check out all of our affiliate sponsors at www.coachscottfields.com. Be sure to make your appointment with 9th Avenue Dental. Dr. Chris Tarbert will put a smile on your face. And now, back to the Coach Scott Fields Show.
All right, we're back with the Coach Scott Field Show, and we're fortunate to have a set of twins here. It's like a double mint commercial right here at the Coach Scott Field Show from Brave Haven Studios, West High School. And I got to meet these guys several years ago, and we've done some workouts together in the summers. Of course, you guys are younger. I mean, you guys are grown men now. You guys are filled out looking good. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself to all of our viewers here through the Salt Lake Valley, but also nationally and internationally. So you coaches out there at the college level, you better get your ears on and eyes watching, because we got a couple standouts right here who would be a great asset to your programs. Introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'm going to have your brother do the same thing. Go ahead.
So my name is Riley Kenner. I'm a senior at West High this year, and I'm of the Mormon faith, and basketball is my life. That's what I like doing.
Riley, shout out. So you guys had a good season this year. Academically, how you doing grade-wise?
It's my GPA is a 3.8 and over every semester.
3.8, coaches. 3.8. You've got to have guys like this on your team who can play and do a great job in the classroom. Introduce yourself.
I'm Dallin Kenner from West High. I'm a senior. It's good being here. It's a good experience.
I love it. Hey, this is a lot of fun. I'm going to quiz you guys. I'm going to ask you who they are at the end of the show. So we got Riley and Dallin here. Tell us a little bit about the success that you had your senior year at West High School. I know you had a big win against the big rivals East this year. That had to be a lot of fun. You had good crowd support, and I'm sure it got rowdy out there, huh?
Yeah, did.
Tell us a little bit about that.
This year just got more leadership in, and playing against East, it was just more like adrenaline to play, and just kept it going and wanted to win because we haven't won East in like 5 years or so.
What was your record this year? How'd you guys do? It's okay. Hey, just how was it?
in region we were 2-8.
Okay.
It was a bad season.
But you know what? But you've learned and you've grown. You guys have skills and a skill set that you can take to the next level. What are your aspirations? What are you guys looking to do after your senior year this year? Go ahead, Dallin.
I'm looking to go play college ball and just do my best and do whatever is right for me.
Okay, good. And how about yourself?
I'll probably end up going on an LDS mission and then come back and play.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done the paperwork and everything already? You got it stuff in?
I haven't started yet. But
Okay.
Soon, yeah.
I'm sure Mom and Dad are eager and anxious to see what's going to happen with that, and a little bit nerve-wracking too to have the kids going. I mean, you've got an older brother, Austin. What's he doing now? Where's your brother at?
He's in Spokane, Washington right now on a
Spokane.
mission.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys get to Skype a little bit, have some interaction with him?
Email him once a week.
What, Monday night or something like that? Is it usually Monday?
Yeah.
Nice. So hopefully you'll be able to have a chance to watch this. A little shout out to you, buddy. Hope you're doing well out there. So now the season's over. Things are kind of winding down for you. I'm sure you got some AAU aspirations, going out playing some ball against some, good athletes outside of the state. What are your plans? Who are you going to be playing with this year?
This year we're playing with the Salt Lake Rebels with Coach Everett Gray.
Everett Gray. He was a great guest on the show, wasn't he, last year?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Everett Gray is a great person, and he does an outstanding job. And what I like about Everett, Coach Gray cares about his players, and he's going to be picking up that phone to help promote you and help you guys. You guys have made a wise decision in that. I'm excited for both of you to pursue that. You're also playing with the Rebels as well?
Yeah.
Nice. So we got a little 1-2 punch coming out there with the Salt Lake Rebels this summer, huh, guys? Do you know some of the tournaments that you're going to be playing in, where you're going to be traveling to? Or do you have schedules yet? Has there been tryouts for the team, or is it just kind of forming together?
This weekend we're actually going to California for a tournament.
Nice.
It's going to be fun.
Cali bound. Is Darius Beard going to be out there helping you guys too? He might be driving the van?
Yeah.
Darius, be careful driving that van, all right? Mom and Dad sitting back here nervous, taking off going to California. Do you know the teams that are in the tournament already?
I know one of the teams that we're playing.
Okay.
We've played them the past few years on our other AU teams.
So you got a little something for them, guys?
Yeah.
Nice.
Strong.
So any quick shout-outs that you want to give to some of the fans out there at West High School? Anything you want to say real quick?
Just shout out to my boy Aton who's watching right now.
Nice. Good deal. I hope you're tweeting live for us there, buddy. Get any shout-outs?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you kind of... Okay, so we know which one is the shy, bashful one, right, guys? All right. So let's talk about this.
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
We do have another shout out. It's for Jonathan. Chocolate vanilla. Does that make sense?
Aton.
All right.
Okay, there you go, Aton. You got a little live tweet there. Appreciate Bob, our producer, bringing that on. You said he was watching. Hopefully you're sending some love to us out there. Let's talk about what you bring to a college team. You say you want to play college basketball. What are your strengths? So if I'm a college coach and I'm watching this show out there, what do you bring to a team at the next level?
I bring a high basketball IQ, and I make good decisions, and I can handle the ball and knock down shots if I'm open.
Okay, you had some good games this year. I mean, you put up some numbers, huh?
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, let it flow. Promote yourself right now. Don't be bashful. Tell me what was your stats this year?
I was averaging 15 a game with 4 rebounds.
Nice.
As guard is.
Okay.
High rebounds.
Okay, so and you're going to do a mission first. Are you thinking about playing some college ball when you return from that mission?
Yeah.
Okay. What skill sets do you bring to a college team?
I hate losing more than anything.
Nice.
I can't stand losing.
You got some junkyard dog in you, don't you?
Yeah.
I love that about you. So, do you hope to play together? I mean, do you think you may play at different universities, or do you want to play together? I mean, there's several twins that have gone from high school and played college ball together, played some NBA together. Is that what you hope to do, or does it matter, or are you just looking for the best opportunity for each of you individually?
Just looking for the best opportunity individually.
Okay. Are you guys hearing from any coaches right now? I mean, a few letters, a little bit of correspondence. What's kind of happened so far?
This Allen Hancock College in California was
Nice.
talking to me, yeah.
Congratulations. And how about yourself?
Dakota College at Bonsano.
Okay.
They've been talking to me in Fresno City College.
Nice. Nice, nice. Well, I know what's going to happen for these guys. And coaches, if you're watching this, I'm going to tell you what, you couldn't have two better individuals. Keep your eyes on them. And when you're going out there to these AAU tournaments, make sure you circle these names. Look for the Salt Lake Rebels. Look for the Kenner Twins, because they will definitely bring quality leadership. They're going to be competitors, and they're going to bring their skill sets, and they're going to work hard. What do you think? Let's be honest. What things do you think you have to continue to improve to get ready for the next level, Dallin?
I gotta work on getting to the paint and finishing with the floater. That's been really that game has been involving the floater game, so I gotta work on that.
Nice, nice. And how about yourself? What do you think you need to work on?
For me, it's just losing weight and getting quicker with my feet and on the defense if I'm gonna play guard.
Well, the way the Rebels play, Everett gets up and down, you're going to lose some weight getting up and down that court with Coach Gray. So you're going to be all right, though. I mean, you guys look good. You're strong. You're physical. You've had a nice career at West High School. Shout out to those Panthers. Once a Panther, always a Panther, right, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Nice, nice. Your parents are here in the studio tonight, and I've gotten to know them over the last few years. Great people, great support system. You have anything that you would like to share with your parents here live on the show?
Yeah, just thanks for being there, because I always tell them they don't have to come to our tournaments, and they always end up coming anyways. So
you gotta love that, huh?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Go ahead. Anything you want to share?
I love them. I thank them for coming to support me on everything.
I want you to tissue, man. I love it when guys can put their heart on the sleeve and talk about how much they love their families, how much they appreciate their families. That's quality character to me, and I appreciate you guys sharing that. Any advice to young Panthers out there who aspire to be the next Kit Kenners to, growing up? I mean, you guys are role models. What messages do you have for the young Panthers who are, coming up through the program? Any words of advice or wisdom that you want to share with them to, like, where you're at? How can they be the next Dallin Kenner?
I say just keep working hard. Even if somebody says you can't, just keep working hard. I've always been underlooked and undersized, and I just kept working. Just keep working, getting better, work on your skills. Work on the jump shot, too.
Okay, and what got you 15 points a game, so that hard work's paying off, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and how about you? What words of advice would you give a young Panther out there who's coming up and is like, man, he's the man. I want to be like Riley. I want to be like it's like be like Riley. So what do you say to those young Panthers out there?
I would say don't waste your time. Get in the court, get it done, and keep working, because it goes by fast. And then once it's done, you're going to want it back.
Man, we got more nuggets than McDonald's out here right now, huh, guys? I mean, this is some quality content. We're having a lot of fun with this. We've got a couple minutes here to wrap up the show. Thinking about missions and thinking about, your basketball careers, you're doing all the right things. You're working out. You've taken care of things in the classroom, so you are the epitome of student athletes. What other types of things are you trying to get done, before the summer gets here and before you guys have to make a decision?
I've been working on losing weight and just keeping my school work done so I can stay on top of my GPA, and just been keep working hard in the gym.
Okay. So when's the graduation date? Is it May, June?
June 5th, I think.
June 5th. Let me guess. Is it going to be out there at the Huntsman Center?
No, it's actually at the Energy Solutions Arena.
Energy Solutions this year?
Yeah.
I know those West High Panthers get rowdy out there when graduation time comes. I'm excited for both of you. I know you're going to do outstanding things in your careers, even beyond basketball. What would you like to do after the basketball days are done? Businessman, doctors, lawyer? I mean, where do you see yourself in 20 years?
I'd like to be a head coach or a scout. I want to stay in basketball. I love basketball.
Okay. Nice, nice. And how about yourself? What do you see yourself, after the playing days are done, and what do you aspire to do?
I want to be a coach and just give back to the game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you hope to coach here in the Salt Lake Valley, working with youth? What level do you want to coach?
High school, and then work my way up to college.
Nice, nice. And yourself?
Yeah, same thing. I just want to give back to the kids.
You gotta love it. We have young coaches right here in the house on the Coach Scott Field Show. Maybe we're looking at the future Jerry Sloans, the future Quinn Snyders. It's the Kenner boys. Be looking out for them. Hey, really appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We've had a great show. I wish the Kenners all the best. And coaches, please get out and see these guys play. They are quality people, great talent, and they will be an asset to your program. If you're not looking them up, you're not doing your job, I'll get a hold of the AD, you need to be fired. So I'm going to get Donald Trump hair going here, you're fired. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in here to the Coach Scott Field Show tonight. We're going to be on with guests next week, next Tuesday. Any last words?
Thanks for having us on here.
You got it, man. Great to have you. All right, guys. Hey, join us next week. God bless, and thank you for allowing us into your homes this week, no matter where you're watching us from. And hopefully things are well on your end. Brave Haven Studios. See you next week.